It starts with good intentions, just a quick scroll through Instagram while waiting for a meeting to start, or checking the latest gist during a lunch break. Before you know it, 30 minutes have slipped away and you're knee-deep in trending hashtags and hot takes. Social media has become an integral part of our daily lives. It connects, informs, entertains, and even creates opportunities. However, between the value it offers lies a subtle, growing challenge: unconscious consumption. And what it often consumes most is our time, our energy, and our ability to think clearly. What's more concerning is the new wave of gist chasing. People are now so drawn into trending stories. Who is dating who? Who broke up? Who's getting married? That it becomes a daily ritual. Running from one blog to another for the latest tea, then analyzing it for hours with friends, family, colleagues, even strangers online. If you're keeping up with every single gist, and it's not because you are monetizing your presence or paid to stay up to date, it's time to check it. This is why I do not recommend that business owners, department heads, or founders take on the role of social media manager for their businesses. If you can afford it, hire someone to handle that. You're better off reading a book, networking, or doing what you should be doing, which is thinking critically, solving problems, and strategizing for growth. Whether you're an entrepreneur trying to scale a business, a student managing deadlines, or a professional juggling tasks, social media silent pool can derail your focus. What makes it tricky is the fact that the impact isn't always immediate. It accumulates: lost momentum, delayed execution, scattered thoughts. This isn't a call to quit social media. The goal is to raise awareness and promote the intentional use of these resources. Turn off unnecessary notifications, schedule your scroll time, be present for the work that truly matters. We're not just losing time to social media, we're losing momentum, creativity, and sometimes direction. But the power to take it all back is still in your hands.
When it comes to social media, I believe that it's something that has given us a lot, but also taken a whole lot from us. A lot of people struggle with attention span, focus, and deep work.
Just to add, it's not just Gen Z, so this is Gen Z, baby boomers.
Our mothers, you see,
all of them,
you see our mothers.
That's why this advocacy was important.
Have you seen this TikTok video? Mama, I am not on TikTok. I don't use, I am very intentional about my social media usage. I'm very big on digital well-being. I have limits on all the social media apps I use. And then the moment the limit is up, someone sends me a reel, I've exhausted my Instagram usage for the day. We'll pick it up tomorrow. You know, a lot of people struggle with self-regulation. And that thing, it is very consuming. I tell people you need to define your social media use case. It's a tool. You need to decide how you want to use it, and not, you are either the product or you're selling a product. When people say, oh, do you know this person got married? I'm sorry, I don't consume social media. I post my bits and I'm out, except you are like the first or 5 people on my feed. That's it. I don't see other people's content. You know, so it's important to define your use case. Are you using it for recreation? How much time do you want to use it for recreation for? Is it an hour daily? Is it 30 minutes daily? The same way we regulate our children's digital well-being, we need to be intentional about regulating our own. Are you using it for visibility? So what is your visibility strategy? You can't just go on and just be posting. You know, we know what Aproko Doctor does on social media. You hardly see him post content outside his niche.
I think I need to come to Aproko Doctor on this one.
I'm so glad. Because whether we like it, baby boomer, Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Alpha, everybody, nobody is immune to biology. Now, if you realize the way these platforms have been designed, they've been designed to keep you on them. And so that's why currently it used to be, the whole narrative used to be connects you to one another. So it started with I'm connecting you to your old school friends, I'm connecting you to people who have been lost in your path. And then the content creator economy came up and there was so much viral content that whether or not you're following a person, if you spend enough time on social media, you're going to see that content pop up. And then you look, you're like, I'm not following this person. Why is he here? That's also because these platforms have been designed to trigger a pathway in your brain that releases dopamine. And this dopamine is the same thing that drives people to take drugs, for instance. And that's why they say dopamine is addictive. So it takes a combination of self-awareness, self-regulation, discipline. There has and systems. Because if you do all these things but you don't have a system, Zuma mentioned something about, ensuring that you have a daily timer on your phone where once you've exhausted your 15 or your 30 minutes, that's it.
You get locked out.
You get locked out. But then again, people do it and then go ahead and continue. They say, just give me extra 5 minutes, just give me extra 10 minutes. And that shows you, yes, it shows you the addictive nature of these things. So yes, that's giving us a lot. But if you don't regulate it, it's really going to reduce the quality of your life, especially if that's where you spend your time on.
Well, I like the phrases in your monologue: unconscious consumption, gist chasing. I like Zuma's self-regulation. If you're not selling products or you're not buying products, then, And I mean, Aproko Doctor is a systems guy today at the table. And I love your take on it. It reminds me of Bryce's take all the time. It's the way the algorithm for Nigeria, perhaps for Africa, has been designed. It makes things pop up. But then we're talking addiction now. This is what I have done. I have two phones. One, everybody has access to that. And you get, placed on WhatsApp groups without your consent and all of those, so you have a lot of people there looking for your attention and all. So I turn off that data on that one. I only come up at particular times of the day. It works for me perfectly. My other phone, I have less than 20 people on it, and that's the one that is always on because I have time to do other things. I have a social media manager, so I don't have to be there 24 hours. I regulate my time. It's blissful. You won't find me on Twitter. I just go there occasionally. I have my preferred social media platforms. That's where you find me. Probably not find me on Instagram all the time. I only visit. My preferred is actually WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn is number one for me. And I don't care how many followers you have, whether when I post, I have only 2 likes, because that's where the addiction comes. You crave the likes. You crave it. And when you have 2 likes or 5 likes, you're like, I'm not popular. I mean, look at what, okay, that's another conversation for another day. How we literally don't have a distribution channel, marketing channel for a lot of our creatives. So you find people dancing up and down, going to skit makers. I mean, you find a Richard Mufedamijo with Kiki and, what's that one that is always, so you see, you get hooked onto stuff like that. And before you know it, 2 hours gone.
I don't know who made this quote. I had to look for it when I saw your advocacy. He said, never has a generation so diligently documented themselves accomplishing so little. Right? Who is dating who, as you said, what you had for breakfast.
Wow.
So
that is profound.
What you had for breakfast. I'm flying to Lagos.
Outfits of the day.
So stuff like that. But again, for businesses, it's a bit dicey. You recommended that CEOs have social media handlers. Definitely, they should. But they also need to have some savvy. So they need to also monitor the trends. Because I have a blog. People don't read. I distribute to over 2,000 people. I see the analysis, 11 views, 2 reads. Do you get? And these are 3 to 5 minutes reads. So if a CEO now wants to focus on those things he was reading in books and stuff like that, it might not really work. But I agree with you that yes. So just to find that balance. First between personal use and then between professional use.
Absolutely. By the way, your blog is competing with 5 things to do in Thailand. That one takes 3 minutes, and that one looks more interesting than your blog that we have to, use our brain to participate.
Casting headlines also helps.
Yes, I mean.